Hello everyone. Today's Monday, so time for a market weather bulletin. We'll try to map the Bitcoin chart and to make some sense of the latest price action and to develop a trade plan together for the coming week. Before starting, a shout out to Zoomex exchange, that is the sponsor of this video and will be the sponsor of all my YouTube video. Zoomex is a super cool trading platform that I will use for all my position that I'm taking from the YouTube videos. Ready to move to the chart? Just make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification, and leave a comment and a like before leaving. So without further ado, let's do some charting. We start from the naked chart on Bitcoin to try to develop a bias from again a chart without anything on it. So first we check the market structure, and this clearly a bearish market structure. So we have a series of lower lows. Now I'm mapping them quickly. And lower highs and a series of lower lows. So nothing has changed so far with the current bullish impulse. The structure remain bearish. So we do have the first part on forming our bias, that is a trend that is clearly a downtrend. So it allows us to form a bearish bias. The second things that I like to map in the chart are the ranges to understand also what ranges are doing, if they are accumulating, distributing, and so on. So I do see the relevance of two ranges, more or less on Bitcoin. One is the big range we had up here around all-time high, developed from November until February, and the second is this range we have been trading here in the past month or so, from end of February until today. So what does this range tell us? First of all, this range, where we have been ranging again for months, is telling us that so far has ended up being a distribution, because it's broken down, retested, and so far Bitcoin was unable to reclaim this range. So until further notice, all this big range is a distribution. So we do have a distributive range at all-time high level, followed by a downtrend. So adding some confluence to our bearish bias and to a possible downtrend continuation. This little range we have been trading on the past 5-6 weeks tell us for the moment a little bit a different story, because this range is so far holding. We did have a deviation below range low, is where I took my long last week, and we are currently trading inside this range. So as long as we stay inside this range, we consider this range as a neutral formation. Just when the range will be broken above, we will be sure, or we can call this an accumulation range. And just when the range is finally broken down, we can call this range a redistribution after the distribution we have here. But for the moment, as long as this range holds, I am assuming further ranging environment. So the approach in a ranging environment is to long range low and short range high, exactly as I did last week when this range was formed and we were ranging inside. We did get a deviation below the range. We did have a clear break above range low or value area low. We did get a first rejection on the point of control that gave further confluence to the relevance of this range and this value area. I said I would be happy to long range low around this area. Half of my position was filled here, and then we get a range continuation. So we are now reclaiming point of control, retesting, and trading just around there. So again, range low area to look for possible longs, range high, now we will define it better, possible area to look for short, and avoid do any long-term business at mid-range because it's the most choppy area. So going back to the current possibility, we know that we are in this range, we open a long from range low, and now it's time to develop a possible further trade setup and a further bias. Since these two range, I consider them pretty relevant, and I do want them to help us to define further confluence for a possible trade setup, I will try to map them in a more objective way using the volume profile, in this case from the beginning to the end of this range until here, and in this case from the beginning to this range until current price. So this will give us three levels for each range, that is the value area I of this range. So we can map them together, we keep them in blue. This is the value area I of this range. This would be the point of control of the previous range, so another potential resistance level. And this is the value area low of the previous range. We do get the same level for the current range we are trading here. So here we have the value area I. Make sure you watch the video on the use of volume profile. I will link it at the end of this video if it's not clear what I'm doing now. There is a full video explaining how to use volume profile, but we map all the relevant part of these two ranges. Now that we have all this part, we can remove this and this and this to get a more clean chart, and we develop our bias considering the following. So this is value area high, value area low of these two ranges, and this is an area where I would be interested in a short position. Why? For three reasons. First reason, number one, is the downtrend. So we are downtrending, so we look for shorts because we assume the downtrend potentially will continue to downtrend. The second is we are ranging in a range, and value area high, range high, again around this level, are level of interest for shorting because it's a range until proven otherwise. So range high is an area to turn bearish. And the third reason is that this range that we had in the past had a lot of interaction around the support level, as you can see. And now potentially this support level is resistance, so it's just around this level. So this is a potential resistance, this is a range high, we assume it could be a potential resistance, and the trend is going down. So we do have a lot of confluence around this area. So that is the area where I would like to develop a trade setup so we can see physically how to develop the setup itself. But make sure, if you want to take this setup with me and to trade with me, to use Zoomex exchange. You will find my referral link down in the description below. Zoomex is a super cool exchange. It has all the function, all the liquidity because it's backed by Bybit, so a very big exchange, but is not KYC, so you don't need to give your personal information to trade on it. You just need an email. Yeah, it's cool because it's SEX, as you can see here, and also DEX, so you can use the both option. Just use my referral link and an email address and you are ready to trade. Also make sure to do it soon because there is a campaign going on. Zoomex is a sponsor of the Formula 1 car, and they are having this 100% cash back. So simply deposit $100 and you will get 100% back in the form of a raising bonus. So $100 to trade very, very easily. So before moving to the setup, make sure you open an account with my referral link in the description below in the video, and try to trade with me on Zoomex. So we form our bias, we select the level of interest for the short. Now we select some further level, we map some further level to see if we find further confluence, because we decided more or less what we want to do. We need to further define level. So first of all, supply, I use usually 12 hour or 4 hour, in this case 12 hours seems pretty relevant. So this is a 12-hour supply untapped above current price just in the area of interest. And then we have a 12-hour order block just below where you could potentially look for long. I will not, since I'm already long for lower. Second area that I see interesting is this untap highs or equalize just here. And we know that equalize are usually full of liquidity, so places where probably the price will go. And as you see here, we have untapped to equalize. Finally, we took the Fibonacci of the latest bearish move, so we do a Fibonacci bearish retracement, and we do get, so to make it clear, this was the bearish move. I'm looking at this bearish move from here to here, and the Fibonacci level I get of interest in the golden pocket and the 0.75 just there. So we map the golden pocket that is just around here, what could be the first level of rejection. But as you know, I'm already short from here, so I'm not really interested to open a further short in this position. My interest is more above here, and especially to the 0.75 Fibonacci level, because this Fibonacci level is in confluence with a few things. First is in our area of interest, that is this one. Second, the 0.75 is in the supply. And the third is just above this equalize that potentially will be swept and price will be rejected there. So first level of interest for the short would be the 0.75 Fibonacci. Then I would add a second entry more or less in the middle of the supply in case we wick above to get a further a better entry, let's say an average entry more favorable. And the invalidation is all we said above. So we don't want the price to break this lower high. We don't want the price to find acceptance back above the value area low of the previous range. And we don't want the price to go too much above supply. So for all these reasons, my invalidation would be just above this high here, somewhere here, just below the point of control for both position at around 85.7. The entry are 89.95 and 91.5. And since we are trading a downtrend, we would expect, if the downtrend continue, to form a further lower low somewhere down here. So the take profit could be somewhere around 72 point something. So these two positions, if both filled, just to check the risk reward, would give us the first one around the 3 are risk reward, and the second one around the 4.3. So if both they would be filled, would be around 3.5, 3.8. So a very decent risk reward. This is more or less the setup I would be eager to take if we get a week above. As you know, this is confluent with my current short. I was short from 88 something. I took some profit down here, so I shorted these were not filled. I took some profit here. Now this position is risk-free, so I can allocate more risk to these two, and more or less is the position, the setup I have explained now for a further short. So to summarize, to close the video, trend is downtrending, so it's first sign of bearish bias, currently ranging, range high, here at this value area high another level to add confluence for a bearish bias, because range high is an area where we would like for short, and previous support level of this range in the form of this value area low, another potential resistance level. Should this setup fail and should all this level be broken and price start to do like this, the bias will be adapted, all this price action will be called a deviation, and we will assume a further bullish resumption and bullish uptrend continuation. But for the moment, resistance is resistance, downtrending is downtrending, so nothing is certain in trading. Any outcome should be expected, but this is the confluence area for me for this short setup. So I hope all the video is clear. If you have any question, just drop me a comment here below or an X. Make sure you trade with me with Zoomex. You will find the referral link down in the description below. And before leaving, subscribe, put on the notification to the channel, and leave a comment and a like. And above all, stay safe out there and take care.